Will my audience please introduce themselves?
Hello, I'm Janice.
I'm Denise.
I'm Derek.
So, I was a young PFC in the military. I got pregnant and I had a baby. I held my baby for the first time and I looked at him and I was just like, I don't ever want to go back to work again, because just the look in his eyes made me realize that I'm finally a mother now. I have somebody that's dependent on me, counting on me for everything to meet all of their needs. And I went home and I held my baby and I bonded with him and I breastfed and I established a type of relationship, that a strong bond that a lot of families aren't fortunate enough to have. But shortly after that, I had to go back to work. In the military, we only have 6 weeks of maternity leave. When I say my heart was torn and completely broken, going to the babysitter and taking the baby in the car seat and giving him to the babysitter, I almost cried. And I actually did cry almost every day for months, because majority of the time somebody else was taking care of my newborn baby. And when I got him, I was worn out from work, still trying to breastfeed and pump and all of that. And I just felt like I wasn't given enough time to have that bond that I wanted to have. And then on top of that, trying to pump at work, and then making sure that my son can differentiate between breast and bottom. It was a struggle, because my son only wanted breast. So sometimes somebody had to pick him up from the babysitter and bring him to work just so I could feed him and make sure he was fed. Well, now, this is the present time. I'm a mother, and I have been a mother for 4 years. I've been in the military for, it'll be 6 years in April. I feel like mothers and fathers should be allowed to have more paid maternity and paternity leave to establish that bond between mother and child, as well as recover from postpartum, because essentially not every woman recovers within the 6-week time frame. So, and not only that, but you want your baby to feel safe and secure. They're young. They don't understand that when you leave and you're dropping them off, they don't know if you're coming back or not. They just know, where's my mommy? So, in history, in the first 20th century, women were typically treated as temporary workers, and they only got married and began raising their children later on as they got older. In 1984, FESA called for a 26-week per year of unpaid job protected leave to care for a new child. But it's not like that anymore. In the United States is the only country where a lot of jobs, or some of the jobs, are not offering maternity leave, or they're not offering paid maternity leave. And it's the same thing as paternity leave. A lot of fathers don't have that opportunity because they feel like, they don't have a reason to recover from having a baby. Here is a map where it shows the United States with 0, and these are all the countries and what they offer as in maternity leave. In Canada, they offer the most out of maternity leave, up to 50 weeks to be able to be off and be able to still be provided for with their jobs. So America is the only non-developed country giving us the means of resources to be able to care for our children. Why do you think that is? It's weird, because we always feel like we're number one in everything, but are we really? naturally it's important for fathers to also develop a strong bond to connect with their children and have an attachment to their babies, because the mother has a role, but the father also has a role, and they both play important, strong roles in the child's development. So fathers should not be included in having time off to establish a bond with their children. And here is another visual of the foreign comparison. As you see here in the red is no paid leave. America and this one up here. So when I looked at this map, it really made me think, like, really, wow, like, so really it's just America? The importance is this sets the stages for children to grow in order to be healthy and to have healthy relationships with other people and to experience a full range of motion, and for you to have the skin to skin, close to close, all of that contact with your baby. And it's also good for parents to be able to learn skills if they don't already possess them, to learn their baby, to learn their style, and to have a connection. Babies also need to have their parents to be able to build language, to learn their environment, to learn their culture, to have the security and the trust like I expressed before. Here's a picture of a very happy family with a very happy baby. And the consequences are detrimental. They could cause psychological damage, physiological damage, cognitive, behavior development, and also that worry if my child is being provided for properly wherever they are at. That's something every parent is worried about when they leave their kids and have to go back to work. And that's something you really don't want to have to worry about, because when your children are too young to talk, you will want to leave them with people you trust, but not everybody is trustworthy. So I feel like you should be able to stay home with your children until they're able to express their needs, wants, and desires. So to sum things up, both mothers and fathers should be allowed an adequate amount of paid maternity leave in the United States. So when you think about having maternity leave, you want to look at a baby's face and think, maybe the America should change a little bit more so that we can all have a better bond with our children. Thank you. So now it's time for the Q&A session. Can you do it, Tyler? Okay. So the Q&A session has to be 2 to 4 minutes. So anybody have any questions?
Yes. Why did you choose this topic?
I chose this topic because I have 2 children, a boy who's 4 and a daughter who's 2. And with both of them, I had to leave them when they were 6 weeks. And it was a challenge trying to get them to bottle feed. And with my job in the military, they don't allow me to leave work every 2 hours to feed my baby. And though I was pumping, if they didn't allow me to leave from work, I sometimes just had to leave because my child goes first. But it was tough because my son did not want to drink from the bottle. He just wanted it straight from the breast. And I feel like if I was given the opportunity to be at home with them longer, that wouldn't have been a problem with me worrying at work, trying to provide for my baby who is not going to drink from the bottle. Yes.
Why do you think the United States is the only country that doesn't provide, necessary maternity leave?
I think that the United States mainly is just about awareness. I'm sure a lot of other mothers feel this way, but a lot of people aren't going to voice how we can be able to do this, because a lot of people, the rate of births are increasing. So if a mother is out from work more than the 6-week time, that employer is going to suffer at the job. And I feel like employers just want a body there. They don't really necessarily care what you have going on at home, because then they'll have to start the whole employee process all over again, interview process, trying to find somebody to work for them while you're recovering at home. So they'd rather you just come back. Any more questions?
What is the second country with the highest amount of maternity leave?
The second country with the highest amount of maternity leave is Norway. And then it goes Italy, which was actually a surprise to me. They were both a surprise to me.
Okay. Alright. What should the U.S. Army do to get male soldiers more maternity leave? Because we only get 10 days.
Yes, that is also true. In the military, fathers are only allowed 10 days to be at home with their spouse and their newly born baby. I feel like the military should also raise a huge awareness that, hey, I understand because I feel like the military bases it on how long the mother needs to recover, not based on an emotional side, because the military is not really emotional. So they're just like, how long do you need to be before you can be back at work? Okay, that's the time we're going with. And they feel like, okay, well, maybe the father needs to help, but they're not thinking about the side of what you need to do, what are you doing with bonding with your baby. So I feel like there should be a definitely awareness that fathers do need more than 10 days. That's ridiculous. And I feel like the only way we could do that is to raise awareness, because things are slowly changing in the military. Women are allowed more leave days, but I don't know that information right now. But they are able to have more convalescent leave for when they have their babies. But they didn't change it for fathers. So I feel like it needs to be brought up.
Yeah.
So I thank you all again, and I hope you all have a great day.